With a standard match with my mono black splash red deck, we will of course mulligan this hand. This one is a keeper. Turn 1 here, pretty obviously Thoughtseize, want to play Mutavault turn 2, and then Underworld Connections or Hero's Downfall, depending on what we're playing against. And it looks like we are playing against Burn. So Magma Jet's actually probably the scariest thing here. Obviously Ash Zealot is scary, but we can just take 2 from it and then downfall it, while Magma Jet lets him scry into his bigger stuff as well. This means that we're going to want to play Blood Crypt tap next turn, unless we draw into another Thoughtseize or another removal spell, something like that. He probably will not take 2 here. But if he really feels like he needs a shock, I mean, it definitely depends on what he drew. But if he feels like he needs a shock, or if he's playing like Fire Drinker Satyrs or something, I could see him taking it. Let's see how we're doing. No, not bad. Alright, so this means that he either drew a 1-drop or he's going to shock us at the end of the turn. Shock it is. We can now openly Thoughtseize, see what he drew. He's going to shock in response, is my guess. Although it doesn't really matter because we're not taking it. We already know we're taking the Zealot at least. Yep, there's a shock in response, and we will take the Zealot. Past the turn, he has 3 lands and a Lightning Strike, so as long as we can draw a creature and apply a little bit of pressure at some point, we should be in good shape. Yeah, we should play this tap just so that we can scry here. That's not something we need. The key to winning matchups like this is actually just applying more pressure than they can, because if you're applying pressure with creatures, they have to use all their burn on the creatures, and they can't use it on you. So he has 2 lands and a Lightning Strike in hand. If he scries anything to the top, it looks like we're going to be in trouble. Our best draw is Desecration Demon next turn, because that applies the most pressure in the shortest amount of time. Grey Merchant also isn't a bad card. At some point, he kept both on top, which frightens me a little bit. We can expect another burn spell, EOT here. We're actually going to play out our Underworld Connections because we do, at some point, need to draw gas of some kind. Grey Merchant, obviously the best, assuming he doesn't have Skullcrack. Yep. So we know he's holding 1 mountain, 2 burn spells is my guess. So it could very easily be 6 damage, probably isn't 9. It's actually very good. So if one's a Warrior's Felix, then this does the job here. Yeah, I actually think just trying to get everything out of his hand is the best bet. We don't know what's on top of his deck. So at any point a burn spell is lethal unless we get to a Grey Merchant before he gets to a burn spell. Also, any haste creature next turn would be lethal if he fires off 2 burn spells here. I'm hoping that he has a Helix, which is a 4 damage spell. That's kind of all I can hope for at this point, is that his 1 spell is Helix. He's going to put us to 4. The next card isn't also a Helix. And we can somehow get out of this alive. Yep. Alright, so that's the best case scenario. And now he discards a Searing Blood. Sweet. And top deck's a land, maybe? That wasn't a land, so we seem to be in trouble. We just have to play this demon out. We should also be playing around Searing Blood here, so that's one of the reasons to play the demon and not just Spectre Mutavault, to play around Searing Blood. Obviously a 2 damage burn spell, and if he has it, he's just going to kill us. Doesn't seem like he has it, or else he would have just killed us there. So it's either a creature he can't bother with, Or, yeah, something like that. Dreadbore. Alright. Okay, so we might as well play Spectre. Because if he has Searing Blood and draws another burn spell in order to, like, double the Spectre, then we're going to die anyways. So this actually makes the clock 2 turns. Now he only has to whiff twice. Seems like another whiff to me. So the interesting play is if it's like Ash Zealot and something. If it's Ash Zealot, Shadow's... No, if it's double Ash Zealot, we have him too. Alright. Yeah, this matchup is super close. Yuya Watanabe, actually, over the weekend, won a Grand Prix in Beijing, I believe. Hong Kong, maybe. And he had Staff the Death Mangus, which is a really weird standard card, but he had that on the sideboard to really shirt up his burn matchup postboard. This matchup's always super close, and that really shorted up for him. Alright, so as suspected, at least one of them is a creature. Deciding whether to sack or not, there'd be no reason to here. Obviously not attacking. Okay. Temple, so we can get a little scry action here. Mutavault's not something we need. Easily kill that. And then getting in. He hasn't scryed recently, so we have no idea what's on top or bottom or anything like that. Okay. No reason to play that Ash Zealot, although I do wish he had drawn that instead of the burn spell he's about to draw to kill us. Yup. Every time. Alrighty. Oh, great. Just every friggin' time. Alright, well, luckily we kind of can't lose this game postboard. So take out Slaughter Games, Rakdos Return, Underworld Connections, bring in all the Duresses, the Devourers of Flesh. Dreadbore is actually not the greatest in this matchup. So usually you're bringing in Doomblades instead. And then I guess a Lifebane Zombie instead of the last Dreadbore. That should be good. Just going to apply some pressure, kill all his things, take all the things from his hand, and hopefully gain some life. That is the current game plan. So we are going to be on the play, and this hand is really, really good. So the way you sequence the lands here is actually fairly interesting. You don't need it to rest turn 1, and you want to be able to play Spectre on 3. So you're actually sequencing Scryland into Scryland Duress into regular land Nightville Spectre, theoretically, trying to get to Grey Merchant. Ideally he doesn't have Skullcrack and never draws it, but that is what we are trying to take out of his hand if he does in fact have it. We can also make a line of play that waits on the Duress. We don't need that land right now. We can also make a line of play that waits on the Duress and plays it on our turn 4 to clear any potential Skullcracks for Grey Merchant, but we could be dead by the time we get to tap out for Grey Merchant, so I'm pretty sure we have to play it next turn. Obviously, of course, it depends on what we draw and what we scry. Let's see what he does here. So he could still have like an Ash Zealot next turn or whatever, so we're not totally safe here. What I like so much about this deck is that it has game against just actual everything, so that really helps. That's a land that we're actually going to keep on top, and I think we're going to Duress here. He just has the nuts, it looks like. So he can chained and then... Okay, so we want to take Boros Charm, right? Yeah, because Boros Charm lets him get back his Phoenixes too. And he's going to be able to set up a play where he like chains our first Spectre, we play a second Spectre. Yeah, okay. Play Gray Merchant, perfect. And he shipped to the bottom with his Scryland, I believe. Oh, he put it on top, okay. So he already has 3 lands, so it's probably not another land. My guess is it's a gas of some sort. That's fine. Trading 1 mana for 4 life is pretty good there. Against burn, you definitely want cards in your deck that say 1 mana, gain 3 life. Alright, so obviously we're playing the promo Spectre first because, like, why not? I don't know why I have, like, all different types of Nightfall Spectres. I gotta get on that. Sorry, guys. Kind of scrubbing it up over here. Also, like, did the same thing with War Leader's Helixes the other day. That also kind of annoyed me. Alright, Magma Jetting us. That's definitely something good that he kept on top. A bottom scry. He's definitely looking for a Skullcrack here because he has to know Grey Merchant's coming at some point. And my guess is that's either a Skullcrack, another Magma Jet. What else could it be? It could be another Chain to the Rocks. It could be a 3 damage burn spell to point at the Spectre instead of using Chain to the Rocks. Something like that. Yep, definitely chained here. We are chained. Alright. So now we don't need to draw any more lands. Just playing the Spectre here. He doesn't look like he has a 3 damage burn spell. Another Magma Jet is my guess. So he just fired off the Skullcrack. Maybe he knows he's tapping out this turn? War Leader's Helix. No, and so he's playing Chain to the Rocks into Chandra's Phoenix. Alright, so we know his last card is a Chandra's Phoenix, so we can actually kill this one depending on what we draw. Another Grey Merchant. Okay, well, that makes our lives a lot easier, because now we just go Grey Merchant, Grey Merchant. This is a situation in which us having BioBlight in the 75 would be good, but oh well, he's still top decking. Mutavault can't do anything. The best he can do is play another Chandra's Phoenix here, or like if he draws a shock, he can Chandra's Phoenix shock us. We go to 9. It's fine. We seem to be in pretty good position here. If we draw another Grey Merchant, then we're in really good shape. And if we draw a Whip of Erebos, that also really helps us for obvious reasons. It seems to be the Chandra's Phoenix shock plan or the Chandra's Phoenix 3rd Chain to the Rocks plan. I'm not sure exactly how many this list runs post-board. Alright. So next Grey Merchant and attack. So we have 2 removal spells in hand. Obviously things like War Leader's Helix are pretty detrimental to us, but we should be fine. This is kind of where splashing green helps in this matchup, because you have access to Abrupt Decay and Golgari Charm to kill their chains. Ooh. That's actually dangerous. Is it? Is it really? We just take 8. Is that totally silly? No, we just take 8. Okay. So now we can do that to that guy. Can we even afford attack? Can't even afford to attack, can we? We have to wait a whole nother turn before we can attack. So we don't take the extra 4, we're at 11, then we can attack for 2 there. Does that help our situation at all? Not really. Yeah, okay. So after that pretty sweet Grey Merchant, we've flooded a little bit. I mean, not sure. We've played 2 Garys this game. So we should be in the driver's seat, but it does not seem as though we are. Of course, we also faced an opponent with 2 Chain of the Rocks for our 2 Spectres, so that probably has something to do with it, is my guess. Alright, another one. It's fine. Kind of wondering if that's a shock and he's just considering using it here. You can kill one of those. That. We'll let him do his worst here. Alright. So then bring in the Doomblade. And we should be left with 1 Gray Merchant, do his 1 Mutavault. So we can't attack here because we're definitely not in the trading damage game. Plus any 1 mana burn spell or a land and a 2 damage burn spell or 3 damage burn spell or Boros Charm 4 damage burn spell is disastrous. Boros Charm into Chandra's Phoenix would have been absolutely terrible here. This is a 3rd Chandra's Phoenix. Yup. I guess at least we can attack now. Although, this does make us just dead to Searing Blood. Fortunately, we are not dead to that Ash Zealot. Yep, so we're still blocking the Mutavault. This is relatively normal, and now we need... we just need a flying creature, or a removal spell, or another Gray Merchant would work out. Any of those things would be good here. And Temple. So we're actually just dead. I guess we'll make him kill us. Yup, you got it, dude. Alright, well, I'm going to play a few more tonight, so I'll see you guys for the next one.